Anytime people talk about how TCG products could improve, there's always a bunch of comments saying that they should just copy the OCG. While the TCG and OCG are both Yu-Gi-Oh!, Japan has a slightly different product lineup and their card rarity distribution systems are unique too. Today we're going to open up several OCG products to see how they compare to what we get here in the TCG. The challenging part about making this video is that I don't live in Japan. Luckily, this video was made possible by today's sponsor, Neokyo. A lot of Japanese websites don't do international shipping. Neokyo is a proxy shipping service that helps you purchase goods from Japan without a Japanese address. Popular categories include anime, manga, games, and of course, trading cards. So here's what the website looks like when you open it up. You're gonna see at the top here, they have all sorts of different websites that they automatically partner with, but you can also do requests if you can't find a site that you like from here. I was able to find all sorts of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon products on the Rakuten Rakuma site. Now you can write in English and then it'll translate it to Japanese, but I found with Yu-Gi-Oh! Products specifically, it's just easier if you copy and paste the actual literal Japanese name. All sorts of burst protocol. I mean, look at this. You got a box for 25 bucks. You got a whole bunch of packs for $23. How this kind of works is that you tell Neokyo what item you want to buy, and then it'll get added as a purchase request, and then once that request is accepted, they buy it for you, ship it to themselves at their warehouse, and then the warehouse packages it and ships it to you. What's cool about this is that they'll hold your items for up to 45 days at their warehouse, which means if you buy something on Monday and then you pick another thing on Friday, you don't have to worry about those coming in different packages because they'll both be shipped to the warehouse, they'll hold them for you and ship to you when you're ready. Click my link in the description below to start buying your Japanese goods now. Use promo code Dzeeff at checkout to get 50% off your first purchase up to 1,000 yen. Thank you Neokyo for sponsoring today's video. Alright, so the first product that I want to take a look at is the Tactical Tri-Pack. I bought 2 of these boxes, and this is a set that includes Dark Magician, Hero, and Makenko support. I also picked up 2 boxes of Burst Protocol, and the reason that I picked out these 2 sets in particular is that these are sets that release in the TCG in February of 2026. So we'll kind of have an easy comparison that we can make in just a couple months here. Now, the Tactical Tri-Pack isn't exactly releasing in the TCG, it's just that these cards are going to be included in the Maze of Muertos, but I thought it'd be fun to take a look at them a little bit early from the OCG pack right here. I also decided to pick up 6 of these Tactical Tri-decks. There are 3 Exo Sister ones and then 3 Rescue Ace ones. These were released a little while ago before this Tactical Tri-Pack. I'm not sure if they've ever existed at the same time, but for a little while they were running these Tactical Tri-decks. You've probably seen these in Master Duel. If you remember a while back, they had like a free Cyber Dragon deck alongside a free Live Twin deck and an Eldritch deck. Those were Tactical Tri-decks. So these don't really exist in the TCG, but basically they're meant to be competitive out of the box, including multiple copies of all of the important cards. But first things first, the main attraction I picked up is Feel Keychain. So I actually didn't own this. I own most of these Feel plushies that exist, but I never owned this one, so I decided to pick it up, and it is adorable. I'm not sure if I'll attach this to my backpack. I'm not really a keychain type of guy, but it's definitely going to go in with the rest of the Feel colony that I have behind me in all of my videos. I want to take a look at this Tactical Tri-deck first. So I didn't really need to pick up 6 of these, but they are dirt cheap, so I thought I might as well. The total cost of all 6 of these was less than $30, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, this is a little bit of an older product. Of course, I wanted to pick up the Exo Sister one, but like I said, there's 4 other decks too. And I don't know exactly what was in here. I do remember looking at it when it released, but what we're gonna see as we go along is that ideally, we're gonna see multiple copies of all sorts of important cards, and I'm not just talking about the Exo Sisters. So the first card here, we have Exo Sister Magnifica. We're gonna have 3 copies of Martha. God, these look so weird as commons. Also, if you didn't know, the Exo Sisters actually do do have alternate artworks in the TCG. Their colors are made brighter. It's not for any like specific reason other than to tell them apart a little bit more. And I think it actually looks nicer, but still, that's kind of weird that we have commons. 3 copies of Martha, 3 copies of Ellis, 2 copies of Stella. We got 2 copies of Sophia, 1 copy of Irene. So that's like a reasonable Exo-Sister lineup. And it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then you hit the Aratama. Yes, they included the Spirit Engine in this deck. Now, obviously, this was released long before the new Spirit card was released, so we do not have that one in here. But like, just from these first few cards, you can see that this is designed to pick up and immediately take to a locals, which is really cool. And then we have some hand traps. We have Nibiru, Shifter, of course, Ghost Ogre, Ash Blossom. So 2 copies of Ash, 2 copies of Maxi. Okay, so not play sets of these other ones. Also, I wouldn't actually recommend playing Nibiru in Exo-Sisters. The token is super annoying. But yeah, that's kind of cool. And then the 2 Ash, 2 Maxi. That's going to be pretty nice because these cards are obviously staples in the OCG format. Okay, moving on, we have the 3 copies of Exo-Sister packs, the 1 copy of Arment, the 1 copy of Carpe Diem, the Prohibition, 2 copies of Tactics, 2 copies of Called by the Grave, 1 copy of Crossout. You know, it's the OCG. We got to play the Maxi mini game, so we're going to have all of these cards. But I mean, this is crazy, right? Like, this is a structure deck that costs less than $10 when you convert it. As far as an individual structure deck, that is a crazy deal. Products in the OCG are different, but one thing that is hugely different is the price. Okay, so now we have 2 copies of Vadis, 2 copies of Returnia, 2 copies of Solemn Judgment. Okay, they knew about Genesis format years in advance. 2 copies of Infinite Impermanence. So that is a 40-card main deck that needs very little additional cards to actually be like the optimal way to play it. But realistically, like, you literally could just take this to a locals and I think you would do just fine. All right, so for the extra deck, we see our 2nd copy of Magnifica, 3 copies of Michaelis, 2 copies of Caspitel, 1 Jabreen, 1, that one, I don't know how to pronounce, Asfiel? I don't know, the one that bounces a card, in 1 Zeus. So when you take a look at this, you can really see that there isn't, or at least there wasn't, a comparable product in the TCG. The most recent couple products that we've gotten in the TCG are sort of emulating the tactical tri-deck layout, but they're not exactly the same. And like I said, these were really, I'm just fucking destroying this box. And like I said, these were released years ago, so it took the TCG a little bit of time to catch up. But I think that this is just one of the many areas where you see people online saying things like, oh, if only the TCG would copy the OCG or take some notes, reheat some nachos. Do people still say that? I want to go through the Rescue Ace one too, just so you guys can kind of see. We got Turbulence, we got Preventer. Is that Preventer? We got... Who the hell is this guy? I have no clue. Airlifter, we got... Is this Airlifter? We got a cat. We have 2 Impulse, 3 Impulse, Hydrant, 3 Hydrant, Dogaron, 2 Ash, 2 Maxi, 1 Curry card. So, like, they know that these cards are good. You know, it's not like one of the decks had Ash and one of them had Maxi. They both have Ash and Maxi. We also have the Field Spell, the Rescue Ace spells, Emergency, of course, and I'm sure the trap cards are back there. We have Rhoda for Airlifter, 1 for 1. It surprises me a little bit that Small World is in here because that is like a super hard card to deal. Can you give me some space? Anyway, I don't even want to play Small World in real life. I don't want to have to do that, but they included it in here for new players, I guess. Good luck with that one. Pot of Prosperity. We got the Tactics, only 1 Tactics in this. I guess the Prosperity is the replacement. 2 Called by the Grave and 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone. Man, they actually were on board with the Genesis way ahead of time. Who knew? We have Rescue Ace, traps. 2 copies of Infinite Impermanence to round things out. So not as many hand traps, but sort of like the same idea. Now I'm curious what they're going to put in the extra deck here because there isn't an actual Rescue Ace extra deck monster, or at least there wasn't when this deck was released. So we have Relinquished Anima, Link Karibo, Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf, Hida, Nightmare Phoenix, so a lot of fire monsters of course, Heat Soul, Promethean Princess common. That looks so weird. Man, this is just wild. Blackluster Soldier, Link 3, your opponent can't out it, you win the game. Zelantis and the Salmon Gray Pyro Phoenix, or no, that's the other one. Raging Phoenix. All right, so those were the Tactical Tri decks, a very interesting product. And I would say, now that I've opened these and really seen the cards, these do exactly what they're meant to do, in that you really could just show up to locals with this deck and nothing else, and you'd be able to play and you'd be able to get some wins. Now, obviously, you would want to add more cards to the deck to have a complete extra deck and to have a side deck and to cut some of the weirder cards from the main deck. But the fact remains that if you showed up to locals with this kind of thing, you were in a pretty good spot. I'm glad that the TCG has finally adapted and tried out products like the Tactical Tri decks, but they still have a long way to go, and these aren't like the structure decks of the OCG. The OCG is still a structure decks. This is a unique product that is designed to help players get back into the game, play a full deck without having to buy a bunch of singles in all sorts of random places. So this was actually the last wave of the Tactical Tri decks, and now it seems like they're doing these Tactical Tri packs. So we're going to open these and kind of compare and contrast here. I'm not exactly sure why they got rid of these. I wonder if they did get rid of them because it is just too good, giving players like every single card that they need pretty much in one deck as opposed to 3. So, you know, maybe they just really wanted people to open packs. Here we go though. Tactical Tri. All right. Oh, yeah. I remember now. Yeah, if you guys have ever opened an OCG product, you might know this, but the shrink wrap on them and also just like the packs in general are so hard to open. So there's one thing that the TCG has up on the OCG. The stuff is actually like openable. I believe there are 9 packs in here, 4, 8. Okay, apparently I'm very wrong. 12, 15. 15 packs in here. 9 is absolutely not correct. So here we go. And yeah, if you haven't seen an OCG pack, they're a little bit different. So they got like the top is this like different kind of texture. And a lot of OCG players open packs with scissors. Wow, that's like the easiest I've ever opened a pack. I'm not kidding. But a lot of people open these with scissors. You just push the cards to the bottom and then cut the top. A little bit scary, not gonna lie, a little bit scary, but that is what people do. Okay, so I don't know what every single new card in this pack does. I am a little bit familiar with the Hero support and the Dark Magician support, but I have not read the Makenko support because I hate those cards. So we have Sunrise, Makenko card, Blast, Masked Hero Blast, Increase, and Dragoon. Oh my gosh, Dragoon. So we can take a look at the super rare Dragoon. Remember when everyone was afraid of this card? It's so weird because it is both like a great card. Oh yeah, here's what I remember. There we go. It is both a great card for boomers in that it, you know, is a combination of 2 well-known iconic monsters, and also, you know, it's fun to play in a Dark Magician deck, but also it's like the biggest anti-boomer card because on paper, in a vacuum, it reads like the most broken thing that you would ever see if you haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh! In like 10 years. So it's a fun card, but very divisive during its time. But okay, here we go. Eye of Timaeus, Liquid Soldier. Do you remember when this card was like $60 in the TCG? It's crazy. Makenko, that one, and another Makenko monster. So one thing that people always talk about, and we'll see this when we open the Burst Protocol box especially, is that people want the TCG to adopt the OCG style of, you know, rarities. Now we're not gonna, oh, Called by the Grave, rare, interesting. So the OCG cards are a little bit different compared to the TCG in that when you open a box, pretty much every card is available at a low-ish rarity, and then also a bunch of cards are available at high rarities. But there aren't really cards that are like super expensive that aren't high rarity versions versions of other things. I'm not saying there aren't expensive cards ever, but just in general, like when, oh, nice, this is the new Masked Hero. I believe this one is a circular or a poplar because it's 2025 and everything's circular or a poplar, but very good support card. And that is a UR. But yeah, usually, because I was in Japan for Worlds a couple years ago, and I would say that most decks are pretty cheap if you don't really care about rarity, which most people don't. So I think that's pretty cool. You're not going to see stuff like, you know, Charmies being $45, $50 that go in any deck, even rogue decks. You're going to see them at like rares in this format, which is really cool. Miracle Fusion, Celine, Destiny Hero Plasma, but it's not Plasma, it's Destiny Hero Blood. Did you know this card was called Blood? I did. I remember that way back in the day. People were so pissed that that got changed from Blood, but I mean, come on. Come on, what did you expect? Fusion Destiny, Makenko, Magician Souls, gosh, and you can even see here, it's fun going through these because a lot of these like random cards in the set, I was thinking about this when I saw the Liquid Soldier too, these were cards that were released in the TCG and were like $50 to $100. I mean, Magician Souls was $90 on release, which is just crazy. Oh, we pulled another Masked Hero. That's actually the one that's on the pack artwork. Let's go. That's cool. But it's always interesting pulling common versions of cards that you know were expensive in the past. We have Dark Magic Circle, Makenko Lady, Destiny Hero Dangerous, Shadow Mist, and Ultimate Slayer, a rare Ultimate Slayer. And yeah, the Master Duel packs, if you've seen them, which you probably have, if you've ever seen a single video on this channel, they have this like texture on them. If you go look at them, maybe I'll throw one up on the screen right now, but yeah, they have that texture and that is where it comes from. It is to mimic the OCG packs. Wow, we pulled like a lot of URs. So this, I believe, I mean, it must be a Dark Magician support card. I guess it kind of looks like a card Eye of Timaeus could special summon, I guess. That must be a Dark Magician card, but a lot of URs just out of like the first couple packs here. I mean, this is only a 15 pack box, so we've been seeing like a decent amount. We have Mali, the contact thing, Magician Salvation, Makenko card, ooh, and the Dark Magicians. Like this card a lot. You know, that might be one of those cards that they release just to get that artwork in rotation, and I'm okay with that. It's pretty good in Dark Magician. Extra Hero, Cross Crusader, Master Hero Dion, Makenko, Vision Hero Vion, and Dark Magician. A little bit of a rare Dark Magician. How do you guys feel about this artwork? Personally, not a fan. And it's weird because I feel like a lot of people say that they're not a fan of that art, and yet that's the one that they keep giving us. Blue Eyes is kind of in the same camp, right? They love the tablet artwork. I'm glad that we are getting like newer versions of those cards with some new artwork. We just got like the Blue Eyes and Dark Magician, I believe, or maybe it was just Blue Eyes in like a Megatin that was kind of like the, I don't even know how to describe that artwork, but it was like a new artwork. So that's kind of cool. At least it wasn't the tablet, but it is so weird how much they love the tablet. Okay. Soul Servant, Acid, Ferris, Makenko, and Makenko again. So this is like kind of similar to the deck build packs in the TCG. And I think just from here, you can already see that out of one small box of this set in the OCG, you are actually pulling like a comparable amount of ultra rares to the TCG deck building packs, which I find very interesting. Okay, we got the Makenko. So final pack here. So yeah, we'll open this one and then I go back and I think we pulled 3 URs out of just 15 packs, which is pretty good. Magician Souls, Deanne, Cross Crusader, and okay. I think this is a high rarity version of a card in the set. I'm not exactly sure how rare these are. We'll see if we pull one out of the other box, but that is pretty cool. But I don't believe this is just a regular secret rare. I believe that is called parallel rare. So out of this box, we pulled 3 ultras and 1 parallel rare. Yeah, big fan of that. Let's open the next one and see what this one has to... Oh, I got to get the thing. Yep. But let's open this one, kind of see how it goes. Have you guys ever seen like channels that will use razor blades a lot to open things, and then like they always have a bunch of like band-aids on their fingers? I think that's so funny. Like the one that I think of is like the lockpicking lawyer or whatever, because that guy has all sorts of like cuts on his hand. And in the comment section, people are always like, "You gotta learn how to hold a knife better, man." And he just never learns. You know, he can lockpick a lock with like a blade of grass, but he can't safely cut a package open. Fusion Destiny, Magician Souls, Neos, DM. Obviously, I'm not going to say every single card name. First off, they're in Japanese. Although, maybe that doesn't make a difference, all things considered. New Makenko Monster, Dangerous, Shadow Mist. Ooh, Masked Hero Darklaw. Very nice, very nice. I can't believe how easy these packs are to open. We'll see with Burst Protocol if it's the same thing, because I have opened a lot of OCG product. Oh, Rare Nibiru. Okay. I've opened a lot of OCG product, and I almost always have a difficult time getting those packs opened. So, very surprising. I have Tamias, Liquid Soldier, Makenko card, that guy. Oh my god, that is cool. Parallel rare DPE. This card is so cool. That's kind of funny that this set has this and Dragoon, you know, the 2 cards that were commonly played in very similar ways. At the end of the day, while both these cards were legal in the same format, DPE won out like 8 times out of 10, just because the targets, the garnets, weren't nearly as bad. Actually, they had like graveyard effects instead of being vanilla monsters. And also you could draw Fusion Destiny, do your entire combo, and then play Fusion Destiny at the end, where with the Red Eyes Fusion, you can't do that because you can't special summon the turn you use that. So people really found out that DPE, maybe on paper, doesn't seem as good as Dark Magician because it doesn't have all the protection effects. Turns out that a repeatable monster that, you know, has garnets that don't suck ass, it actually ends up being better than a card that maybe on paper looks better. But now no one plays either card. Apprentice Magician, Denier, Prep, Stratos, and a Makenko. Amulet Dragon or something like that. The Pillar thingy, Dark Magician Girl. Ooh, Neos. Oh, of course Neos is in here, right? Yeah, we've seen some Neos cards. Now, as far as I know, the new Masked Hero support in this set is from the manga, or at least based on the manga. D-Hero Blood, once again. Isn't that interesting? There's like so many cases. I know Stratos is a case as well, where like these cards were played in the manga, but not the anime. Why were they never adapted? Why are they so different? I've never quite understood that. Okay, the new Eye of Tamias. Quick play spell. Gonna be honest, no clue what this does, but that is Tamias, and his eye is in the artwork. Therefore, you know, it's Eye of Tamias. We have Vision Hero Increase, Sunrise, Makenko Spell, Dangerous, and Foolish Burial with a... I mean, I know this is a Lost Art promo now, but Foolish Burial with the OCG artwork. Almost any card in Yu-Gi-Oh! That has a graveyard has been, like, censored in the TCG because they've removed those cross gravestones. But now it's a Lost Art. Apparently they don't care. We have Eternal Soul, that guy, that thing... And another copy. Yeah, I have fully been won over. I believe this is a Tamias card. So we'll say that's Dark Magician support. Also, fun fact, the new Dark Magician that's on the cover of the packs, like I guess it's more of like Dark Magician of Chaos retrain, that card makes, I'm not making this up, Sandwich a viable option. We have another Dragoon. It makes Sandwich a viable option in a deck because it can be summoned by, I believe, banishing or attributing a level 6 Dark Spellcaster monster in the same turn that you've used a spell. So if you ready fusion for Sandwich, you can immediately summon it for free. Farfa was ahead of his time. Denier, Apprentice, Makenko. Okay. 2 more packs here. Warning, Mask Change, Tamias, Hero Lives. Oh, and another copy of this guy. That's really cool. Very, very cool. Final pack here of the Tactical Tri-Pack. Shadow Mist, Circle, Makenko, Illusion Magician, and also one final. I think this is a new Makenko. I don't know. I don't care. Fuck Makenkos. Okay, so those were the Tactical Tri-Packs. It's not too different from a deck builder pack in the TCG, although, you know, they wouldn't make a deck builder pack for just a legacy support, which is what this one is. Our deck builder packs in the TCG are almost always new ones, like the Yummy pack that had Dracotail as well. But this is still pretty cool, and I think it's a nice product. It's pretty hard to beat this at only like $20. Like, that's barely $1 a pack. Like, it's just a little bit over that. And we pulled a lot of holos, a lot of URs. And like I said, the new cards from this pack will be released in the TCG in February of 2026 in the Maze of Muertos set. All right, the main attraction, Burst Protocol. We got 2 of these, but I wanted to show you guys here, and this is something that, you know, is kind of interesting, but in the OCG, they've had this for a while, but sort of box toppers. I believe that Magic the Gathering does this as well. Maybe other card games do too, but these are cards that are included only if you get the box. So they have this token. That's the cover card, and these are like kind of funny, but basically you just, you know, I'm going to be honest, I don't know if anyone is realistically using this as a token. Seems kind of difficult to pull off of there, but, you know, it is what it is. But let's take a look at the individual pack. There's only 1 card in here, and I believe it's a special one. I really want to be careful not to, like, wreck the card. I don't know if that's even possible. Okay, yeah, these packs, I don't know, man. Opening a pack with 1 card in it is just crazy. I'm so careful. Okay, what do we have? What is this card? I actually can't remember. But that is a free box topper. So here we go. Burst Protocol. Let's get into this first box, see what we can get, see if we can get any Exo Sisters support cards. Specifically, you know, a high rarity one would be pretty nice. But lots of support in this box. Just a little bit of information as we open this. Oh, what the hell? I know that guy got legacy support. Well, not legacy support. Hey, Rescue Ace. Oh, okay. Sorry, there's a couple things to talk about. But basically, all of the tactical tri-decks were foreshadowing for future support. Every single archetype that got a tactical tri-deck eventually got support. And one of the reasons that I picked up those tri-decks, besides the fact that I like Exo Sisters, was because those decks, their support is in this pack, Burst Protocol. So it took a minute, but yeah, I have been waiting for Exo Sisters support ever since that tactical tri-deck got announced, because it was very clear that that's what they were doing with it, because the first 3 in the original wave all got support. So when they announced the second wave, it was very exciting. Exo Sister, continuous spell. I've talked about these cards on the channel a little while ago, but this card is just nuts. It is crazy how good it is. Extra normal summon, double search. I mean, it's everything. Okay, so we have the Armed Dragon. This is like, what are they doing with Armed Dragon cards in the R&D over there, right? Like, why is every Armed Dragon so bad? This is a new Magnet Warrior. See, these are not easy to open. I don't know. There's a couple different techniques that people use. Another Exo Sister. We got Yummy support. This has really good artwork. I wish I liked playing Yummy because I love the artwork on these cards, but I just, I can't do it. This is a big Archfiend, right? This is an Archfiend monster. There's Archfiend support in this set. I do remember that. But yeah, have you guys ever like just not vibed with the deck's play style despite really liking the aesthetics? Is there anything more tragic? I don't know. Getting bad legacy support is pretty tragic. Magnet Warrior stuff. Stained glass window. This looks like a rocket. I believe it is a rocket. All right, I had to readjust a little bit, but here we go. So that's the little pull tab that they want you to use on this, but it is kind of scary doing a pull tab like directly into the cards. Okay, so we have a rocket, Magnet Warrior, not quite sure. Not quite sure. Whoa, look at what's going on in this artwork. This is an Archfiend card, I believe, yeah. What the hell? They're doing like a Dungeons and Dragons. Didn't know that was in there. I mean, see, that's the... Do you see what just happened? Like, it's not open. So they got the little, this up here. And then I know some people will do like, okay, this probably won't work anymore, but they'll like split it. It's tough. I don't know. Do you see why people use scissors? Like, I'm just demolishing this pack. But the cards will stay in there. Archfiend monster... couple other random stuff. Like I said, a little bit difficult to know what all of these cards do. I'm clearly not the most updated person when it comes to paper play, and that is especially true for things that have not released yet. Oh, I like this guy's artwork. I do remember the Boral stuff now that I see it. Get that out of the way. That person... some stuff going on there. Another canine monster. Okay, so these do... oh, yeah, I should mention, you know, we've been pulling them. These still have rares. They still have just regular rare cards in their sets. That's actually a change that I don't necessarily mind in the TCG. I know some people like miss rares because they think it like lowers the price of stuff, but I do think the idea behind just making every rare a super makes sense, because like a rare is just like such a weird halfway point between common and super. Like, why even have it? I don't know. As I'm saying this out loud, it's like, that feels like it could apply to any card game or any rarity, so who really, you know, but I feel like rares specifically, if any of you are like older school players, wait, there's for hire support in this set. If any of you are older players, I do want to know, like, I remember going to regionals, you know, and you would get your entry packs. You guys think pulling 5 supers out of your entry pack sucks? Try pulling 5 rares. Holy... This is an ultimate rare, I believe, an OCG ultimate rare. They did feature these in the rarity collection sets, but I'm going to be honest, something about the technology is just different in the OCG. Obviously, all these cards get made at different factories, so that's like not like a crazy thing. But yeah, this just looks different. It feels great. I'm not really a huge fan of this rarity in the TCG, especially compared to the regular Ultimate Rare. Ultimate Rare is my favorite rarity, at least like the old school ones where they don't look like shit. And but that is really nice. And I have a couple other OCG Ultimate Rares that look good as well. Oh, we have the not Tri-Brigade Kit. It's like, what is her name? It's like branded Kit. It's, you know, Kit as a friend. Springans Kit. No, that card already exists. New support card, though. We have the Rocket, For Hire, Archfiend monster. Archfiends are, I don't know, they're kind of in a weird place where it's so hard to make a deck with, like, so many die roll effects that they basically had to kill its original identity entirely just to make it playable. I thought the Link monster that they got several years ago was like an interesting solution. Is this Junk Warrior with the King Kong fist from Godzilla vs. Kong? Dang. Come on. Open up. Victory Viper card. Got, whoa, that guy's pretty crazy. But I thought the Archfiend Link monster used the old gimmick in like an interesting way. The problem is that means that it sucks. So I get why they like completely revamped the style of, what card is this? I think this is for a new archetype. This is a Draco Tail monster, I believe. Not like the craziest one, but it does something. It's not one that works going second or on the opponent's turn, I believe. It just has like an ignition effect that maybe pops a card or bounces a card or something. So not crazy, but a nice utility monster. But yeah, sometimes when you have an old school deck that has a mechanic that just doesn't really translate well, you just gotta revamp it entirely and find a new mechanic and make that legacy support. I don't know. Oh, there's another Archfiend monster. So yeah, the Dungeons and Dragons card must be an Archfiend. Okay. Victory Viper. Rocket. Ooh, this is a, what is it called? Radiant Typhoon support, I believe. The deck that is currently terrorizing the Genesis format. Oh, have I mentioned yet that this box was $25? I didn't even plan on grabbing 2 of these, but the price was just too good to ignore and I couldn't resist. $50 for 2 Burst Protocol boxes? Why not? Seemed like a pretty good deal to me. So products in the OCG are just cheaper in general. BES card. DDD. Little bit of a holdover from Doom of Dimensions. Okay. That. Rescue Ace card. The Rescue Ace legacy support in this pack is not good. I really feel bad for the Rescue Ace players out there. The Exo Sister support. All 3 of the cards are like custom cards. But in Rescue Ace, those are just not like good. Okay. Not sure what this is part of, but it is a fusion monster. How about that? Sorry, not 3 Exo Sisters support cards, only 2 of them. 2 and 2. So we got that. Going through, yummy. Oh, baby, parallel secret rare. So in our game, you know how every card can come as, at least the ultras and the secrets can come as QCRs, or I guess Starlights now, because we're done with the 3 years of the 25th anniversary celebration, where in the OCG cards can come as that rarity. It's kind of neat. But that means that this card is available as another rarity, which is like the big thing. I mean, like, I know one that people really talked about was SP Little Knight because, you know, $100, $100+ in the TCG on release, and in the OCG, it's a literal super rare. And I think it was an expensive super relative to other super rares, but obviously not like crazy. Do you know how many times I've done that? Like these packs. Okay, TCG does get one thing, and that is that their products are a lot easier to open. What am I doing wrong? I know on camera, it looks like I've never opened a Yu-Gi-Oh pack in my life, but like I promise I have. For hire. It's Rex and Donner. No, what is this guy's? Blade. Beat? Whatever. Yeah, I guess I'm doing this now. But see, like, I feel like that doesn't open the pack very well. It's scary. Okay, Archfiend, Blue Guy, For Hire, Boral Counter Trap. One final. I got stuff. Come on! Because, like, that's how I would open a pack in the TCG. You know, you split it apart. I don't know. Okay, final pack out of this box, and then we'll open that next one too. Just for fun. We got that Rocket. So nothing like too crazy, but we got, I didn't put them all aside here, but we did get a number of ultra rares, and we got the ultimate rare and the parallel secret rare. So not a bad pickup for one box that cost a little over $20. All right, we've had a fun time, but we are down to our last product that we're opening today. They just shouldn't put one card in this pack. Oh, interesting. Okay. I will get this out of here in a moment, but we can already see that this is not the same card as last time. I wonder if this is just like a random UR. Wait, what the hell? This card isn't even in this pack. I guess this is just a reprint and a rarity bump for a card that has support in the set. Okay, so I looked up some information and I was wrong on a few things. So this is actually just a regular secret rare. The prismatic secret rare is the starlight equivalent, which does look like a starlight. But basically every card that is available as a secret rare is available as a lower rarity too. So each box, there's 80 cards in the set, 4 ultimate rares, 8 ultra rares, 10 super rares, 18 rares, and 40 commons. 20 cards are available as prismatic secret rare, and 20 other cards, or there is a little bit of overlap, are available as regular secret rare as well. So what's interesting when you go through these, oh, this card's crazy. This little penguin looks very unassuming, but he's very strong. But what people like about the OCG is that if you go online and you see the rarities, every single high rarity card is available as a rare or super for the most part. And that really does help because it makes things cheaper, and it appeases like multiple different, types of players, collectors, that kind of stuff. People always say that, sets should just be cheap, cheap, cheap. Everything should be accessible, and that's not quite the entire story. While the regular game, playing competitively should be inexpensive, collectors do need something to aim for. These are games, but also they're cards that you trade with people. They're cards that you put in a binder. And so sets really need, and this goes for any card game, but any good set is going to have cards for casuals and competitive players and whales that like collecting high rarity cards. I know that a lot of people that are in those different categories don't really like talking about the other types of players, but whales are important to the ecosystem, just like in real life. Amazing. Archfiend, Exosister. It'd be really cool to pull the Exosister Xyz monster. We've got new Springans right there. But that's why it was like with SP Little Knight, you could get it as a lower rarity card. I can't remember if it was a rare or a super rare. And then also you could get it as like a higher rarity card if you really wanted to. And that's what was so interesting about going to so many Japanese shops when I was in Japan a couple of years ago, is that gosh, so many cards, even the brand new ones, were just dirt cheap, at least at the lower rarity. So if you want to just play the game, you can at a lower barrier to entry than the TCG, which is nice. But I think that is why the TCG is firing back with the legendary 5Ds decks, which feature a ton of reprints for hand traps, including the Mulch Harmies, all 3 of them. New Rocket super rare right there. And I think that they are taking some notes from Japan. Okay, Archfiend. We got that chair. That guy. But we'll have to see what the Burst Protocol in the TCG looks like. I really like this set, so you might see me open the TCG version on the channel in a couple months. But yeah, come back to this video and compare, right? Armed Dragon. And this guy. Looks pretty cool. Got a nice sword, got a nice crown. Oh, man. Maybe next time I'll have scissors. I don't know. That just feels wrong. Using scissors to open a pack of cards just feels I don't know. Okay. Moving along here. Yeah, 5-card packs. Very different than what we're used to seeing in the TCG. They don't really do... I guess they... Aren't the deck builder packs 5 cards, actually? But core sets have never been 5 cards. And I believe in the OCG, they've basically always been 5 cards. That's what I find interesting about Magic and Pokemon. They both have really large packs. I think 10 to 14. Is Magic 14 cards per pack? That's just wild. Now, I know that they're probably that way because it helps with draft play or whatever, but... it is very interesting to a Yu-Gi-Oh player. These are getting a little messy. Let me stack them up. Rocket. Oh, we got another one of the kits. Yeah, that card's pretty cool. The new waves of Elbaz support. I know this card's not like crazy, but the new waves of Elbaz support are incredibly strong. Oh. What is this guy? Oh, this is the new like big Boral boss monster. So we did pull this as an ultimate rare. That looks nice. No, I think these look a lot better when they're like the original OCG versions compared to the TCG versions. I don't know, not that I hate the TCG version of the OCG Ultimate Rare, but this is where they're meant to come from, right? This is a good card to talk about as well with the rarity. That is available as Ultimate Secret and their Starlight, the Prismatic Secret Rare. So we kind of have like the middle rarity with the Ultimate Rare, but yeah, it is also available. Oh my gosh, we just instantly pulled a secret rare. Now that we know they're secret rares, not prismatic secret rares. Very, very nice. And as you can tell, because we've opened a lot of packs, we've pulled this card as a rare multiple times. A rare. Can you imagine like SP Little Knight rare or just anything rare in the TCG? It's interesting. I don't know. I think the TCG is maybe a little hesitant to like fully switch over to this kind of set design because once they try it, it's really hard to go back. You know, this is what OCG players have pretty much always known, but in the TCG, not really. Not sure what that card is. I really like how their secret rares look though. We've gotten that kind of style in the past. I mean, it kind of looks like old video game promos, but also kind of looks like, what was that? World Superstars back in the day had some of those. And that was like a big deal at the time. It was very, they were like, this is the OCG rarity. Okay. Not too many packs left. But I think you guys, you know, get the gist here. Oh, we did it! Exo Sister, what a crazy card. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this card to release in the TCG. And this card comes as a prismatic as well. So that would have been cool to pull, but I will take an ultra as well. It's not like I can play it anyway. So I think we should have like one more ultra. Maybe? I haven't actually been keeping track. I guess in the most recent, now that I think about it, in the most recent deck building set, they did mess around with having cards as rares and holos. They did it primarily with super rares, though. Super rares and rares were sometimes interchangeable. I don't know if every super is a rare, but I know that a lot of rares for the main, like, new decks come as supers. Got that again. So we did pull one more ultra. Like I said, not exactly sure which archetype that's from, but 2 more packs. This also has that like crazy new forbidden quick play spell in it, which is super strong, and it looks like it's right there. Like what are the odds of that? We didn't even pull this in the last box. Yeah, this card is super strong. It's kind of like, I mean, it's like Droplet and Chalice. It's everything. It's really, really cool. And it likely will see a lot of play in the TCG, but we just pulled it as a super rare. And that's kind of what you don't necessarily get in the TCG. So this card is available as a prismatic secret rare and also this super rare. So you can pull it as Starlight or this. And I don't know if they've like revealed it already, but I would bet anything that that card will be a secret rare in the TCG that probably costs $80. So, you know, I don't know how much this costs in the OCG, but it can't be that expensive because it's just like a low rarity super. And then if you really like the card, you can splurge on a high rarity version. It's an interesting setup. Finally, we got the Junk Warrior with the Gorilla Fist. Okay, so as you can see, this box was different from the TCG box that we'll get in a couple months here. We see some new rarities, we see some different ratios, and of course, probably the biggest difference is that high rarity cards also always come as low rarity cards. Anyway, that's all for today's OCG opening. Let me know how you guys feel about TCG versus OCG products now that we've seen a few different ones in today's video. I think that they both have their unique advantages, but I'd also love to hear your guys' thoughts. And once again, thank you Neokio for sponsoring today's video. Click my link in the description below to start buying your Japanese goods now. Use promo code Dzeeff at checkout to get 50% off your first purchase up to 1,000 yen. Thanks for watching today's video, and I'll catch you guys later.